What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. In today's video, we're doing a follow-up video in regards to weekly training, and in the last video we talked about offensive game plan for your weekly training and the positives and negatives and which weekly training packages are going to be the best for you and are my preferences within franchise mode on Madden 22. Real quick, as I start off this video, I want to preface this by saying this is on PS5 on next gen, so we do have to consider that the comments section for the last video indicated that on the PC version of the game and on the old gen version of the game there are different pluses and minuses to these packages, so just be aware that this is on the next gen version of the game, and yours might look a little bit different depending on what version of this game you're on. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and hop into this and talk about the defensive side of the ball and what all the pluses and minuses mean for these training packages and what my preferences are and what I would recommend you guys utilize within franchise mode. So just to continue with the rundown from before, your defensive game plan is always going to pop up before your offensive game plan, and it's always going to automatically select a game plan for you. You're probably going to want to change this on a week-to-week basis because this is one that is more subjective to what your opponent is doing than your offensive game plan. So for your offensive game plan, you're probably more likely to go with consistent game plans week to week because you know what you want to do on offense, you know what is your strong point, what is your weak point, and what you're trying to attack and what you're trying to establish as an offense, whether it's your running game or your passing game or maybe your play action game, whatever it might be. It's more consistent on a week-to-week basis, I feel like. However, on defense, you're more so game planning for your opponent. You're more so game planning for what you expect your opponent to do, what you see that they've done as a history, and how you want to stop that. And so you're more likely here to change this on a week-to-week basis, and if I had to give a recommendation, I would say that if you put any time into training at all, at the very least, make sure that you're giving some attention to your defensive game planning before anything else, because this is probably going to be the most important of all of them. Now, when we actually look at the packages here, they are very similar in name to the offensive packages. So we're going to have the defend inside run, defend outside run, defend deep, medium, and short pass, and contain quarterback scramble. So there are some interesting pluses and minuses to all of these packages. We're going to start with the run side of things today with defend inside run and defend outside run. On defend inside run, you're going to get 3 pluses to inside run defense, which is a really nice bonus. That is going to allow you to stuff the run on the inside, which is a majority of most teams' running game, with, most plays out of shotgun for runs being inside zones and things like that. They're technically inside runs, so you do get some nice bonuses there. However, the negatives here are that you get 2 negatives to inside run play action and 1 to bounce runs outside. So there are some significant trade-offs here, and that being the inside run play action, which if you pick inside run, defend inside run, you're going to be very subjected to effective play action offense because of the fact that your team is going to sell out on the run and you're getting those negatives to inside run play action, and most of the play action plays within the game are inside run play action plays. So you definitely want to consider the fact that you're going to be very subjective to being attacked in the play action game, and that can be a massive negative. And play action plays, I feel like, are one of the more effective types of plays within Madden 22, and you may want to rethink doing defend inside run because of that. And then we move on to defend outside run, and you get 3 pluses to outside run defense, 2 negatives to outside run play action, and 1 negative to outside run cutback. Now, to be quite honest with you, I don't actually know what the bounce runs outside and the outside run cutback really affects within the game. Like, I don't know how it would apply positives or negatives to any specific player within the game for those specific details. Outside run cutback, it's not like there's a rating in the game that is a cutback rating per se. Maybe it gives a player on the offensive side of the ball better juke move or something like that, or better agility, but it certainly, I don't think, would affect blocking, because the blocking is all going to be either outside blocking or inside blocking on the plays that you call. So I don't really know how bounce runs outside outside and outside run cutback really play into things, and I've never really seen any significant issue from those negatives. Maybe you guys could let me know in the comment section if you have any specific detail on those. However, you're going to see that we do get those 3 positives to outside run defense and 2 negatives to outside run play action. This is one of, if not the best training packages within the game, because outside run play action doesn't really exist within Madden. And I don't want to say it doesn't exist per se. I mean, there are outside play action plays, but like I said, a majority of play action plays are going to be inside type runs. So, outside run play action, to get 2 negatives to that, I just can't think of very many situations in which that would even be utilized by an offense. And therefore, outside run defense is one of the better packages within the game because you get significant bonuses to a very helpful part of the game, but you really don't get any huge negatives, any comparable negatives to what you're getting in bonuses, like you would with the inside run defense, where you are very clearly getting offsetting positives and negatives. With the defend outside run scenario, I really don't feel like you're getting offsetting negatives, and that's why it's one of the better packages within the game. So if you are going to choose to try to stop the run, defending outside run is one of the better ones, is the better one to choose, actually. And to be honest with you, this is a scenario that is more useful to you anyway, because on inside runs, yeah, it can be difficult to shed blocks and things of that nature. You definitely want to keep that in mind, but ultimately they're running at the numbers of your defense. So those runs aren't going to tend to break away for long amounts of yard anyway. So, it's going to be stopped before they get 6, 7, 8 yards because you just simply have the numbers on the inside of your defense. Whereas on outside runs, this is where you really have to worry about runs breaking away for big yardage and things like that, breaking away down the sideline. So this is where you would, generally prefer to have the bonuses anyway, because these are the runs that are more dangerous for your defense, in my personal opinion. And therefore, all around, the defend outside run package is going to be one of the best, if not the best, defensive packages that you can select for your weekly game planning. Now, in terms of passing, contain quarterback scramble is unfortunately one of the worst packages within the game from what I've noticed. It gives you 2 bonuses to QB contain, which is great. You want to contain the quarterback from getting outside of the pocket, but you can just simply do that by pressing R1, R1, or right bumper, to adjust your defensive line to contain, and they will do a good job of containing the quarterback. But you get 2 negatives to pass rush and a negative to the quarterback being more accurate in the pocket. Those are massive negatives to receive on the defensive side of the ball. Your pass rush is going to be very ineffective if you select quarterback contain, or contain quarterback scramble. That is not a package that I recommend doing, because those 2 negatives to pass rush make all the difference, and pass rush is already generally pretty difficult for CPU players to get off against the quarterback anyway. The quarterback's not going to be scrambling out of the pocket in theory if you can't get a pass rush on him anyway. So I guess if you want to force him to throw inside the pocket and just stand there and pick you apart, yeah, I guess that's the package for you, but I just generally don't recommend this for anybody. Just use the right bumper adjustment for your defensive line to contain if you're having trouble containing the quarterback, and you'll still not have the 2 negatives to the pass rush within the training package. So you definitely want to keep that in mind, and you're also not going to get the negative, which is giving the quarterback better accuracy in the pocket. So we certainly want to keep that in mind. However, what I will say is if you're ever going up against somebody that has trained contain quarterback scramble, you better know that, because that's going to allow you more time in the pocket and more accuracy in the pocket, and you definitely want to take advantage of that. Now, moving on here, we have the defense short pass, medium pass, and deep pass. On defense short pass, you get 3 pluses to short pass coverage, negatives to double move routes, and 1 negative to intermediate pass coverage. On medium pass, you get 2 pluses to intermediate pass coverage, 2 minuses to linebacker DB run support, and 1 minus to short pass coverage. And then on defend deep pass, you get 2 pluses to deep pass coverage, 2 negatives to DB run support, and 1 negative to intermediate pass coverage. Now, you guys may already see some things that you like or dislike from these packages. Let's go ahead and bounce to defend short pass. There are some things that I like here. Getting 3 bonuses to defend short pass is really nice to have, and the reason that is really nice to have is because a majority majority of plays within the game are designed to have short passes in mind. So, a majority of opposing players are probably going to be focusing on those short routes. Now, this is, of course, subjective to what your opponent is doing. You might get an opponent that just likes to push the ball downfield or likes to run the ball, and in those scenarios, having extra short pass coverage isn't going to help you out, but this is a volume perspective. Most quarterbacks and most teams, most players are going to have the majority of their throws be to the short areas of the field, which is going to mean you're going to get the most bonuses on a volume of plays, which is extremely helpful to you. The two negatives to double move routes, I don't ever really see that being too much of an issue. I mean, double move routes are not that common, I feel like, and I don't even really know what the game classifies as a double move route. So, in reality, are you really even getting that many negatives on any type of volume there? You're really not. I mean, there's how many plays that, in my personal opinion, I would consider a double move route? Not very many. So I could be incorrect in that assumption, but nonetheless, you're getting way more positives here than negatives. And yeah, you get a negative to intermediate pass coverage, which is tough to handle, but if you're going up against an opponent that likes to throw the ball short, certainly, getting those 3 positives to the short pass coverage is enough to offset that and 1 negative to intermediate pass coverage. So this is a pretty solid package to select. And next up, we have the defend medium pass package, where you're getting 2 pluses to intermediate pass coverage, which is weird because you're only getting 2 in this one, but you got 3 bonuses in the defend short category. So I don't really know what the logic is there with that. And in this one, you're getting 2 negatives to linebacker and DB run support, which is already a more massive negative than the positive that you're getting for selecting this package, which is just bizarre to me. And then you're also getting a negative to short pass coverage. So I know that this is one that when you first jump into the game, you might look at it and say, okay, a majority of passes are going to be around that medium range. I know that there's a high volume of short passes. You're certainly going to have the least volume of deep passes in most games, so medium seems like it's the common package to select if you don't really know what's going on here. And this is actually something that I ran into, is I ran the defend medium package a lot of the time whenever I first played this game, and it is genuinely the worst package within the game. It is genuinely the worst training package you could select because the negatives far outweigh the positives. Only getting 2 bonuses to intermediate pass coverage for offsetting worse run support from all of your basically players on defense is not good. That is not something that you want to take at all. You want to have as fast reaction to the running game as possible. Otherwise, you're going to get destroyed within the game. And this one is going to give you negatives to both linebackers and DBs. I say that you guys should stay away from this one at all costs unless there is some specific reason that you know that your opponent is only going to be passing medium routes, and that is where you need the bonuses, and they're not going to be running the football much against you at all. So, that's where I stand on that one, and I just want to make sure you guys know to stay away from that one if you can, because you're just generally going to be outweighing yourself with negatives on that defend medium pass coverage package. And then last but not least, here we have the defend deep pass package, which is going to give you 2 bonuses to defend deep pass coverage, 2 negatives to DB run support, which I feel like is a much more balanced offset between those two, and -1 to intermediate pass coverage. So this is again a training package that I feel like is slightly outweighed by the negatives. Simply because, deep pass coverage is not going to be that high volume. You know what I mean? Like when I look at this, you can see that Kyler Murray, you just look right under his profile picture, short attempts, he has 333, medium attempts, 110, deep attempts, 64. That tells you all you need to know about these packages and where you want to get the volume bonuses. And so we're getting 2 bonuses to our deep pass coverage, which is a very low volume area, but we're getting 2 negatives to DB run support, which is a higher volume area. I mean, they're going to run the ball more than they're going to throw it deep, and a negative to intermediate pass coverage, which is again another high volume area in comparison to deep passing. So you're offsetting yourself with some negatives here. Now, what I will say is that your DB run support is not quite as important as linebacker run support. Getting negatives for linebacker run support will destroy your defense. Getting negatives for DB run support is not quite going to destroy your defense. I mean, you can survive and stop the run without DB run support. And so that's not the hugest negative. And, you know, -1 to intermediate pass coverage, it's going to be relatively difficult to defend those areas anyway. Are you really even trading too much off with that negative? That's kind of, you know, where I'm at with it. But, you know, this is one to be used where you know your opponent is passing the ball deep and taking shots deep very often, and this can be utilized effectively in certain scenarios. I just want to say that you're not, you know, benefiting a whole lot by selecting this package like you might be with selecting the defend short pass or the defend outside run package. So hopefully that information is helpful to you guys. I personally recommend you stick with the defend outside run or defend short pass packages, maybe occasionally diving into the defend deep pass package, but certainly stay away from the defend inside run package because you'll be very subjected to effective play action plays against you. Stay away from the defend medium pass package. It is one of the worst ones in the game. And again, stay away from the contain quarterback scramble package because that is going to nerf your pass rush into oblivion, which is going to eliminate any benefit that you had to containing the quarterback anyway, because you're not even going to be getting after the quarterback. They're going to be more accurate and everything like that. You just simply don't want those packages. So like I said, go with some of those ones that are more beneficial to your team. And like I said, hopefully this information was useful to you guys, and I hope that you guys will leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below as well any thoughts that you guys have, anything that you specifically use. And like I said, I know that we got comments on the last video stating that these are different for the current gen consoles or old gen consoles, as well as the PC version of the game. So I'm very intrigued to see some of that. I do actually have the PC version of the game now, and I'm going to actually go check out what some of those packages look like. But nonetheless, leave all that feedback down below. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a good one.